Yo, what up, people? It's your boy the Kryptonian saying here, bringing you a review for One Piece chapter 337, and Gadatsu's cover story's finally getting interesting. He's found his way to Alabasta, and you got this scene of Koza. Really interested to see where Oda's going to be taking that. I know I haven't really been talking too much about Gadatsu's cover story. Honestly, it's because it hadn't really interested me that much. Though I do know that the cover stories do eventually find their way back into the actual canon of the story, as what we saw with Buggy and his great adventures. So now I'm getting ready to watch that little arc now on the anime. I can't wait to dive into that. So with that being said, I do want to jump right into the chapter. I thought it was very interesting how Nami right away looks at the shipwrights and she says, "Oh, they'll take care of us. They're allies." And Luffy looks like he's on guard, just the way that he's drawn and postured, the way that his shoulders and everything is still squared up. And that's when Luffy and Nami get the revelation that they're believed to be the actual culprits behind what's going on with Iceberg and why he's in the hospital, and that Iceberg identified Nico Robin, that they checked with the world government. So even if Luffy and his crew aren't necessarily behind the attack, which we know they're not, though Robin was kind of involved from what we've seen. We don't know the full extent. She might have just opened up the door and then the guy she's with did the gunshots, because again, I haven't really seen Nico Robin use guns, so I mean, anything's possible, but I don't think that's something she would do. I would think Nami would use the guns, because we've seen Nami kind of posturing with guns recently, so I could see Nami incorporating that into her arsenal, but not Nico Robin. That devil fruit she has, while it does have drawbacks, it definitely has a lot of pluses. Like that devil fruit is borderline OP. So with all that being said, I did like how at the end we got the shot of Nico Robin and she's reading the paper. She's looking down and she's finding out that people are suspecting the Straw Hats. So I think this is where, as Robin continues her descent into hell, this is where that character who's going through it has that moment where they're at a fork in the road. So whatever decision she's making is either going to thrust her further into the abyss, or it's going to start her on her road to redemption. So it's going to be really, really key for Robin's development, what course of action she decides to take from here. Though, I gotta say, with this chapter, with the different fights that are breaking out, at one point there was a three-way brawl between the shipwrights and Luffy and Frankie, because Frankie's like, "You motherfuckers, I'm still here." And Frankie's firing off the shots. I thought everything was pretty cool, though I will say that if Frankie was smart, he would kind of let these two duke it out and then take over or take on whoever was left, because at this point he's kind of been forgotten about. And I think a large part of that is because Frankie's not really an issue. Like, I think they see Luffy as more of a threat. There's also emotion in it. Again, their leader, their hero, has just been attacked. They've got a crowd with them. The crowd's, recognizing Nami's part of the crew. Luffy automatically says, "I know what it means, okay? I know we're outlaws." And that's because Kaku throws the knife and it, cuts him around the face. And he says, "This is what it means to be wanted, dead or alive." And this is what I love, because Luffy is full out embracing outlaw. If I'm not mistaken, this is actually the first time he refers to himself as an outlaw, and I feel like this is Oda once again just hammering it into our heads, like, hey, these, like, you love them, but these are actually bad people. They're pirates. In the One Piece world, pirates are bad. Luffy and the crew, they might be good people to you, but everyone else sees them as bad until they get to know them. And that's what we saw at Aokiji, and now we're seeing it here with Iceberg's men. So I love this. And again, just the fact that Luffy's calling himself a outlaw, and you have that Aokiji stuff, and then because of where they're at, there's got to be something with the Navy coming forward. There's no way in hell Oda's going to have those types of words used. And again, you can blame it part because I write, but the thing about all of this is good authors don't waste words. Like, you don't waste sentences, and you don't waste the words that are used in sentences, because using the right words can change the entire tone of a story. The entire tone. So that was key. That was something kind of stuck out when I was reading it. No, I will say this. I did like Rob Lucci and Luffy's fight. And it kind of crushes my hopes. I thought maybe he would end up joining the crew because Luffy and him did have a nice little banter, you know, with the bird and all that. Doesn't really look like it because, again, they're throwing hands, and I don't recall Luffy throwing hands with anybody that was getting ready to join his crew. Like, everyone at that point, like, he didn't really throw hands at Nico Robin. Nami, they had a disagreement. Zoro, he basically talked no jutsu Zoro into joining the crew. And Kobe rescued Zoro, and Luffy came through with the swords. So, I mean, that's that. Sanji, him and Sanji bickered, but they didn't actually mix it up. You know, I think Sanji might have threw a punch or something at Luffy, but they didn't mix it up with the intent like that. Like, Luffy is throwing hands at him. Like, he's got some pretty good shots, and this is after it's revealed that Luffy has a devil fruit. You know, we know it, but it's nice to see the reaction of the shipwrights where they're going, oh shit, you know, this is going to be a little harder than we thought. So overall, very good chapter. My chapter question to you all is going to be fairly simple, okay? What did you guys think about Nico Robin looking over the chaos and reading? She looks content, but at the same time, with characters like Nico Robin, there's something else going on. She has another end game, so I'm very interested to see. Again, I've kind of talked about the descent to hell, and this is where Robin is as a character, so I can't wait to see where Oda is going to be taking this. Like I said, this is very critical for Robin's character development, and if Robin decides to go further in the chaos, I personally would feel like if she goes further, if she doesn't come out with something concrete and tangible, then I feel like this whole thing's been a waste. Whole thing's been a waste. And I also feel like if Luffy reaches through and saves her from that darkness or whatever it is that she's getting ready to go through or she's going through, I wouldn't be too happy with that if it's not executed properly. This is one of those times where Robin put on a big girl panties and she's doing something separate of the crew, which, you know, again, I've been pointing out since Little Garden. It seems like she's always doing her own thing and she's not really part of the crew, though she is part of the crew. And what we saw with the Fox Pirates, you know, with that little arc, I mean, we're getting stuff where the crew's coming closer together, but there's open tension. And I feel like now we've had it with Usopp, now we need to have it with Robin. We need to have something going on there. I'm not saying Luffy and Robin need to fight, though I think Robin's doing something that Luffy's not going to agree with. And because Luffy's crew's been dragged into this, and the fact that, like I said, they were on the top of the end, and you could argue that that was representative of the calm of the storm, and now you have the first wave. Frankie and his people coming in. Now the second part of the hurricane's coming, where the shipwrights are attacking, and they're attacking because they think Luffy and his crew assaulted Iceberg. And then the next wave might be something with Robin, but I would like to see maybe something with the world government and the Navy, that more than likely, looking at Oda's style, that's probably going to come on the back end of this arc. On the back end, you're going to have some type of Navy influence, because from what the world government official said, it did take him a while to get there. He said he came all this way. So I could definitely see towards the end, when you think everything's wrapped up, Oda just hits you with that right hook that you're not expecting. You know, we saw that a little bit with Skypiea, with the whole thing with Enel, where it's like Enel was going through hunting, and then there was everybody's teamed up, and then Oda just threw you for a loop, and Enel started one-shotting people. So I feel like something like that's going to happen, not necessarily the one-shotting, but the unexpected stuff where you're thinking, what the fuck is going on? I'm really interested to see, and one of the things I'm thinking is, because the last arc and this arc are kind of continuing the same thread lines, where we have the whole thing about bonds and the crew having open tension, yet obviously resolving. I'm wondering if that's going to have something to do with it, if in some kind of way Luffy has an emotionally tense moment. And I'm not too sure. I'm thinking it might be Robin, but it doesn't feel like it. Like I said, I'm getting Akira Toriyama vibes, where there's a lot of misdirection going on, and I'm not too sure exactly where it's coming, or not coming, but going. And when that happens, you kind of go along for the ride, because Oda does have a tendency, like Toriyama, what you're expecting, Oda will do the unexpected just to fuck with the reader. And he's done that a few times, so not as much as Toriyama, where when we got saved for the Frieza saga, when you're reading that, you're thinking, oh shit, or you're watching it, you know, you're thinking, oh shit, you know, Frieza went from this really small character to, oh shit, he's got horns, so fuck, he looks like something out the Alien movie. And then the last form, you're like, what the fuck is that shit? Like, people weren't expecting that. When you go back and you read, like, the different comments and stuff when that was running weekly, and you look at the reactions and the fan stuff, you know, Kaizenshuu.com is a really good source if you're interested in Dragon Ball. But when you look at all that stuff, that was not expected. And I'm getting like something here. I'm not sure where Oda's taking it, but I feel there's a huge plot twist coming. And if you just look at how writers usually structure stuff, it's got to be coming on the back end. Like, we're getting a series of plot twists, and we're getting a lot of misdirection, so I'm really interested to see where that goes. So those are my final thoughts for the chapter, guys. Thank you for sticking around. If you're new, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that like button, as it really helps the channel out, guys. And don't forget to share. Thank you for watching Kryptonian Saiyan, guys. Have an awesome day.
「